This video is going to talk about the steps we need to create our own number tricks. Let's put the date and topic at the top of our paper. We'll also need our essential question for today, which will be how can we create our own number tricks? When we start to create our own number tricks, sometimes it can be useful to first think in terms of visuals. Other people like to think of the algebraic expressions that they'll use as they're completing their number tricks. But either way, let's start with a number. I can represent that number with my box, right? Or I could use maybe the letter N to represent number. Now, it doesn't matter what number we choose in this example, but we could pretend just in our head, if it helps, that the number represents 4. Maybe X is 4, maybe the N is 4. But either way, I can add or multiply this by anything. So let's say that I tell someone to multiply their number by 3. I can do that. To do that, right, they might draw 3 boxes to represent their number 3 times. They also might write the number 3n, right? The expression with a variable, 3 times n, or 3n. Next, right, I'm thinking of things that I can do easily, right? I can add to things really easily. I can multiply to things really easily. So let's add this time. Maybe I'll tell them to now add 12. Right? So visually, they would now have 3 boxes and 12 dots. Of course, they might also do it algebraically and say 3 n's plus 12 more. What operation could we do now? We could certainly tell the person to add or multiply again, but maybe this time I'll try division. Let's take a look at what we have. We want to know what we could divide by, that we could divide the boxes and the dots both by. I could certainly divide the dots in half, right here, but I can't do that for the boxes without having to cut pieces into the boxes, which we can't do. I could also divide the the dots into 4th sections, right? But again, I can't do that for the boxes. I can divide the 12 dots into 3 groups right here, and I can also do that for the boxes. I can divide by 3 here. So that's an operation that will work for both the boxes and for the dots. So I think I'm going to tell that as my next step, to divide by 3. If I do that, each group would be 1 box and 4 of our dots. Or you could also think of it as 1n plus 4, right? So I took our larger amount and I divided the number of n's by 3 as well as our 12 by 3. Now, if I want them to get back to their original number, whatever their original number is, I just have to get rid of those last 4 pieces, right? These little guys are the extra piece that I have to get rid of. So I could tell them to take away or subtract 4. If they did that, they would just have their 1n remaining, right? And they'd be back to their original. 1n, of course, is the same as just n by itself. Let's put those steps together now, right, in terms of directions we could give as a number trick. So here's what we told them. First, think of a number. Then, multiply that number by 3. The next step was to add 12. Then, we told them to divide by 3. And lastly, we told them to subtract 4 so that we could ask them, what did you get? By following these steps, we led them to choose a number that got them right back to where they started. In class, we will practice writing our own number tricks. It will be important for you to go through the steps yourself, either with the visuals and the pictures, or with algebraic expressions. This video is just a quick example of the steps you might take to create your very own number trick.